The journey of The Summer I Turned Pretty has finally reached the end of its television road, and what a ride it's been. I think we can all agree that the ending was one of those bittersweet ones. It made us pretty happy by finally bringing Conrad together with Belly. However, it also disappointed a lot of us by excluding some key details from the book's ending, and I think you all know what I'm referring to. Thankfully, though, Jenny Han and Prime Video have revealed that Belly's story isn't over just yet. The saga will continue, and this time conclude for good, with a feature film directed by Jenny Han herself and co-written with Sarah Kusurka. So, let's talk about it. As you all know, the finale of Season 3 ended in Paris. Conrad surprised Belly outside her apartment, who had been living in France, embracing the independence and self-discovery that came with stepping out of her small-town summers and into a broader world. I mean, good for her. But despite the excitement of her Parisian life, the unresolved tension with Conrad resurfaced once she saw him in front of her door. He got the chance to know her new friends, her life, and even wondered if she was dating someone else. Belly, on the other hand, wrestled with her own fears and feelings. She basically got into an existential crisis with the visit of Conrad, because up until that point, she was pretty happy with her life in France. She was quite literally someone else here. She was now an independent, bold, femme fatale-like, attractive woman who lives a carefree life. But Conrad's return reminded her that his is not really who she is. And no, she can't avoid facing her true self any longer. So, needless to say, the reunion wasn't immediate bliss. In fact, it was pretty messy, filled with awkwardness and tension. But ultimately, they confronted their feelings, reconciled, and declared their love for one another. As I mentioned in my review video, the ending was basically a mix of Sex and the City and Bridget Jones's Diary, and I truly enjoyed it. And yet, I could not brush off the feeling that some things were missing. But I'll get to that in a second. Meanwhile, back in the US, Jeremiah honed his skills as a chef, while Taylor organized a PR campaign for him. Taylor and Steven decided to work on their own future together. Now, the odd thing was the fact that while Belly and Conrad ended the series together with each other but alone when it comes to their families and friends, Jeremiah ended the series with a new love interest and surrounded by people who love him. And I don't know if it is just me, but it made me think about this reunion between Conrad and Belly. In fact, I genuinely believe that this was an intentional choice by Jenny Han to show Conrad and Belly isolated from anyone else, because she was preparing a brand new conflict for the upcoming movie. Now, even though the series largely concluded with Conrad and Belly together, apparently Han knew there was still more story to tell. She revealed that the film will chronicle the one big milestone left in Belly's journey. She said, "As I was thinking about third season, I really felt that the journey was so much about Belly's coming of age, and in order to fully tell that story, we need to get to her reunion with Conrad." She wanted to give this next chapter its full due, rather than squeezing it into a hurried epilogue. So, this means that the film will explore what happens after Belly and Conrad reunite, addressing the realities of dating your ex's brother and navigating the lingering presence of family and friends from past relationships. She said, "It's like, what happens when you are dating your ex's brother, and you have to see them, and you have to be in their life still? What does that look like?" What's especially exciting is that the movie will allow the story to expand in ways a fourth season might not have. Han explained that, for her, 3 seasons felt complete. Han said, "It feels very complete to me as 3 seasons. Another season would be just a lot more story to cover, and also a lot more conflict that I think people don't really want. They were so eager to get Belly and Conrad together. Do you really want like a season of problems for them?" So clearly she believes that a film format provides a more focused, impactful medium to explore this final stage of Belly's journey. And who am I to oppose her? That being said, considering the fact that it takes more or less 2 years to produce a movie these days, I hate the idea that this story did not finish with the 3rd season of the show and is forcing us to wait even longer. But let me know if I am alone in these thoughts. By the way, the announcement of the film was made in Paris, following the Season 3 finale screening, with Belly and Conrad's actors snapping photos in front of a new marquee that read, "The Summer I Turned Pretty, the movie." I know a lot of you guys were caught off guard, many unaware that the series would continue beyond its televised episodes. Yet, as Han explained, the decision to transition to film was deliberate, providing a space to give this concluding chapter the weight and attention it deserves. She said, "There is another big milestone left in Belly's journey, and I thought only a movie could give it its proper due," she said, acknowledging the support of Prime Video in making this final chapter possible. So, it is said that the film promises to delve into the complex emotions that follow a long-awaited reunion. Han described the final season moments in Paris as particularly poignant, noting that Belly faced fears of hurting not just Conrad, but the entire family she holds dear. She said, "When he says, 'You're stuck with me forever,' because it's not something that she can really go back on if they go down this road, she knows it's for keeps." And I think when you already had a big blow up where she feels a lot of shame and guilt over what happened, you're fearful of hurting people. While the release date is still under wraps, Han has completed a draft of the script, and the project is actively in development. She emphasized that the timing is important, wanting the actors to feel closer to true adulthood, reflecting the characters' growth authentically on screen. She said, "I think the closer we can get them to true adulthood, to me, it feels like the most poignant and beautiful way to tell the story." So perhaps the movie will come out sooner than the typical 2 years period? Who knows? As far as the plot is concerned, we know that we will finally get to see Belly, reading Susanna's letter. We will also get to see how Belly and Conrad managed to continue their relationship long distance. So, there will be a lot of letters, a lot of yearning, and preparations to face the family together once they are in the US as a couple. So, more similar to the book's admittedly rushed and yet still satisfactory ending. Also, we will get an explanation on who took those pictures in the Christmas that they showed us at the very end of the series. That being said, all these will be speed through as the main topic of the movie will be the wedding. This means we will get a major time jump, as we know they dated for a while before getting married. Of course, Belly still could not wait to get until 30, as Susanna predicted. But still, at least she won't be at university, and Conrad will be a doctor already. We will also see Jeremiah in a new relationship, which will be used as a tool to prove that he is truly over Belly now, and supporting her relationship with Conrad. Now, personally, I doubt anyone can be over a relationship that lasted 4 long years and ended up with a disastrous wedding, especially if your bride ends up with your brother in the end. But yes, I am excited to see how will they pull off this plotline. Let me know what you are hoping to see in the upcoming The Summer I Turned Pretty movie. For more weekly updates, discussions, and analysis on The Summer I Turned Pretty, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.